Season's greetings and welcome to Flat Earth Debate Christmas Special. I'm your host, Nathan Oakley, and a very happy Christmas to one and all, even Tim Osman, who's currently on his way to buy the biggest goose in the store. If you are new to this channel, or one of the 50% of the people watching this that have not done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you would like to support this channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside the show while it is live. And if you would like to join the debate, there is a link in the info box below this video. With the page you are currently watching on mute, simply click on that link and join the debate to express your views on the shape of the earth. There are only a couple of rules in the Hangout. Number 1, please do not swear. If you do, you will be ejected, but you will be warmly welcomed back on the next stream. So please do not try to rejoin the show using sock accounts. With that, I'm going to transition across to the action and encourage anybody who is currently in the live stream to please share the show on social media. We do have a guest currently in the Hangout, so I will say a quick introduction to him. How are you doing, Arwin?
I'm doing great, Nathan.
Super
is too cute.
Yeah, she's very cute, no doubt about it. She's going to be disappearing shortly for a shopping expedition.
So, ho ho ho, everyone! Merry
ho, ho.
Christmas!
Ho ho ho!
And watch out for that sleigh.
Yeah, in Britain, I don't know if they did do this year or not, but last year they told the kids to go out and look at the ISS flyby, and essentially they told the parents to lie to the children and tell them it was Santa.
Wow. I
There
see
you go.
what they did there.
Are you a big
Nice
celebrator
crossover.
of Christmas?
Sorry?
Do you celebrate Christmas?
Well, not really. I kind of like the atmosphere of it and all, but I don't take it serious in a religious sense. Because, well, there's some things about it, of course, like the discussion that it's not actually Christ's birth date, which is supposedly another date. And it's like well, you know, all the rumors about it, that's actually secretly a pagan holiday being Christianized. So, and yeah, I never took it really seriously. I live in the Netherlands, of course, and we have Sinterklaas, St. Nicholas, and that's always on the 5th of December. That's our personal Santa Claus. We were first, just so you know. We were the first to introduce this tradition, like at least in Europe, as far as I know. Or maybe like the Russians have their own, or Slavic traditions. I don't know what's going on over there, but anyway, yeah, we celebrated that always very extensively, and Christmas is more like the time when family gets dinner together, and that's it. So I go to my parents every year to have a nice dinner. It's always nice, but nothing really special.
Got my monster chomping at the bit to open presents already.
She found the presents.
It's gonna be a fight to stop her from opening them, I can tell already. But that's part of the fun. As much as I've already said this on a few broadcasts, so I'm never going to lie to my kid and tell her Santa's real. You know, I'll explain that it's a fantasy, so to speak. But that doesn't mean she can't enjoy this bit where she's trying to open all the presents and I've got to try and stop her.
Yeah, agreed.
I'm going to do a few shout-outs to the people in chat, if that's okay with you, Arwin. I'll turn you down for just a second, just in case anybody joins and makes a load of racket while I'm shouting out the most important people here. So, say hello. Right, we got... I'm Rick. Pleased to have you here. Very pleased to see you. Peanuts Clark. Very pleased to have you here as well. Agent Detective. Thanks for being here. Very happy Christmas to you. Roger MC. Season's greetings, my friend. Thanks for being in our chat. Be sure to share the show. Sean G says, "What's up, party people? The party poppers will be let off later. Earth Flattener, very pleased to see you, my friend. Thanks for being in our live stream. Fanny Lancer's laughing his head off. Good to have you here. Thanks for being here. The Afterlife Now says, Eleanor! She's already ran away to her mother. Got her priorities right, I think. Fox, nice to see you. Very pleased to have you here. Lee Hodges, nice to see you, my friend. Very happy Christmas to you. Tony, participant. Hopefully we'll see you at some stage today. Good to have you in our live chat all the same. Happy Christmas. Near Base says, yo. Yo to you too. Lee Pilling, thanks for being here. Nice to see you. Big smiley face to you too. I think that's pretty much it. I've got to the end of the live stream, so I'll run through a few of my links. Let's just move this out of the way so I can see what I'm doing.
Shall I tell?
And hopefully by then we'll be joined by our first debater to challenge Arwin. If not, we'll hear some of Arwin's rhetoric in his beliefs in regards to the flat earth. So, once again, if you are new to this channel, or you have not done so already, and about 50% of the people watching this stream haven't, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth debate. If you would like to support this channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside the show while it is live. Hello, little munchkin. You helping me with my links? And if you would like to join the debate, there is a link in the info box below this video. With the page you are currently watching on mute, simply click on that link to join the discussion and express your views on the shape of the Earth. There are a couple of rules in the Hangout. Number 1, please do not swear. If you do, you will be ejected. And number 2, if you are ejected, please do not try to rejoin the show using sock accounts. You will be warmly welcome back on the next stream. Once more, if you've not done so already, please share the show on social media. And with that, I'll pass back to Arwin, who hopefully has had a few seconds to think about what he wants to say about Flat Earth.
Oh yeah, no, I actually, because it's a Christmas special, I thought I'd bring up a bit of a, I guess, Norse fairy tale like legend thing, which is Flat Earth related, and I've actually seen it across the Flat Earth video landscape on YouTube for some time. It's not too widely spread, but the concept is that the Christmas tree refers to a thing that happened in the very far past. That originally the Earth was like a big tree, and the skies were covered by its branches, and there was pretty much light everywhere. And then the tree was cut down. And because the tree was cut down, which was a pretty brutal act and changed the world forever, as the tree is falling, which should hit at the end of the Earth, basically. Yeah, it is a fairy tale in many regards. But in the meantime, like the fruits of the tree that are falling, they are actually the planets and the moon and sun that are swinging around like big tree ornaments, giving off their light because they are falling. So, and that, yeah, that the Christmas tree is supposedly to be at the exact North Pole, that it would be what is now the stump Mount Meru, basically. So that, yeah, it's a very visual thing. It's a very legend-like explanation, mythological explanation of a bit of the shape of the Earth and the heavenly star skies and the planets and moon and sun. So yeah, thought it was a good time to drop that. It's a story. Hey.
We've been joined by John Connor. Very pleased to have you here, John.
Very pleased to be here.
Good to see you, my friend.
How are we doing?
I'm doing great.
Good.
You?
Yes. Good, thank you. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay,
I
good.
can
It's my
see
first
you
time
now.
first time using this.
Are you streaming through your mobile?
Yes.
All right. So, John. Oh. There he went.
So I've heard a couple of times, Arwin, you say to other panel members that you're not fighting for flat Earth.
Mm-hmm.
Would you clarify that a little bit?
Well, I just look at all of it as cosmogony. It's just conceptualizing, figuring out a model with all the data that we are presented with. And there are so many models one can configure, can design, can think up with open ends, things that need to be tested, all that. And it's, yeah, if I just say, okay, I'm going to stick to this thing, then I'm going to end up ignoring a lot of information from the other. So I'm just taking it all in and just figuring out, okay, which ones makes the most sense, or which one are viable and in what percentage, and where do the typical flaws lie in a sort of model. Where are their biggest peeves that they can't work out? And that's how I approach all models.
We've been joined by David, so big hello to him, and also massive shout out to Earth Flattener for hitting that super chat. Should really move the message. Get the baby a Christmas gift from Earth Flattener. Will do, Earth Flattener. Massive thanks to you. How are you doing, David?
Good morning. I don't know why I've got this icon on, but something on the computer, I guess.
Just try turning off the camera. It might work.
Yeah, it's off. I'm not sure.
Don't worry about
it's
it.
Okay if I'm coming in clear.
You reset your default picture.
Don't worry about it. As long as it's static, I don't think it's not going to give anybody epilepsy. It's not like when the screen shares constantly flashing up. So don't worry about it. It's just like you've got a massive icon. So don't worry about it.
Right.
How are you, David? Very pleased to have you here.
I'm doing good. If Arwen's not going to fight for the flat Earth, I will.
Well, depends on what fighting is. If you keep on digging that same hole, then yeah.
Or when you got to pick a side over here, okay? Either the Earth's flat or it's round, or it's a ball. See, these people say you live on a spinning ball.
Ball at all. I think that's pretty much excluded entirely.
So you think you agree it's level then?
It seems to be the most likely.
If I walk from my house to your house, I'm gonna walk level the whole way, aren't I?
Well, you're gonna be drowning halfway.
Well, you know what I mean.
The Atlantic Ocean in between.
I understand that. But Nathan, what happened last night? I got on here and then it went. I was arguing with Curve and a bunch of people on here, but I guess you got kicked off or something, or shut the hangout up. I wasn't sure what happened, but.
No, the trouble is that as much as I'm protected myself from having people snipe me, the guests can have other people join the call and have them snipe them, so that's unfortunate. But we have been joined by a couple of new guests, so I think first one in was Curved Water. How you doing, Curved?
Hey up.
Good to have you here, my friend. And the next was Near Base. How you doing, Near Base?
Hey, Nathan.
Good to have you here, my friend.
Hello.
Ding, ding, ding.
Hey, we got Ari.
We've also been joined by Oriv. How you doing?
Doing good. How you doing?
Superb.
How many of y'all drinking a Dr. Pepper?
I'm drinking Coke. Coca-Cola.
I am drinking Dr. Pepper. How did you know that?
100.
Well, don't you
literally,
know
I
that
am actually drinking Dr. Pepper.
carbonized water is actually very bad for your brain?
I
I
do.
love
Yes,
it.
we know that.
I know
Yeah.
it.
I know it too.
I
Just
I
wanted
still
to share
drink
that
it.
Gotta have at least one a day. You know how it is.
Yeah, maybe even two.
I haven't
Distilled
drank
water
is
anything
best.
bubbly for years.
Drink water myself, but gotta have a Dr. Pepper every now and then.
Yeah, they say distilled water.
Especially the ones with see the Dr. Peppers with real sugar. Those are the good ones. Make it with that corn syrup. Now they make all these drinks with the corn syrup. You got to get the ones in the bottles, the actual glass bottles. They're the ones that's got the real sugar in them.
So,
They all taste the same.
is it too late to ask what's up with the X split?
Don't know what happened. I just turned the computer on. That was on there. Maybe because I'm on my I was on my tablet also when I saw y'all came on.
Or maybe
Not
an
sure.
update replaced it.
You have X tablet.
Probably pocket dialed.
Oh, that was an app. That was an app to get on here, I guess.
Wow.
Tell them how you got beat up last night, Curve. You got knocked out last night in that debate.
How's that?
You don't remember that, huh?
Oh, I know what you're talking about. David was punch drunk last night. He was dizzy. He was staggering around. Doctor wouldn't let him in the ring. He was in pretty bad shape. He's got some hallucinations he was suffering from, apparently. Affected his memory. All right, so let's get that fishing line out, David.
Yeah, how many ballers we got on here now? Just Curve and who else?
Me. I'm a baller. Hi.
Me too.
So 3.
So it's me and Arwen on here. Go ahead, Arwen.
Oh, yeah. Seems like the Earth is flat. Yeah.
Sounds like you're driving on some flat Earth over there.
I'm on a hill, but even if the Earth was as curved as they said it was, you got mountains and hills and stuff that would be on a curved planet. So wouldn't they be even more pronounced on a curved planet than on a flat one? I mean, after a while, you'd have buildings sticking out, going off at angles and stuff like that. It would be chaos, wouldn't it? How'd you make a building plumb? Would you make it plumb to another building, or eventually it would just stick out into space all ascant like a V, wouldn't it? Like if you had buildings that are far off from each other, but you don't see that on the ground in real life. So there's something up with the model, the round Earth model. It appears. Yeah.
That's it. What about that, Curve? You get
Yes.
I've known a couple of architects
Sure, somebody
through
said stuff like
ex-girlfriends, and they shared with me that they believed the Earth was flat. Yeah. I didn't believe it back then, but I was pretty amazed to hear that.
Interesting. Huh. Yeah, I'm out here driving and it looks like the horizon's right at eye level. I don't see the horizon dipping at all.
Yeah, it should be at eye level.
They
Because,
say
you're on
three-
the ground.
all these ballers say it's 3.5 miles as far as you can see.
We
Yeah.
never say that.
No.
Said that last night. It's where the horizon starts.
I mean, on the ocean maybe, but you can still see
Nope.
past that.
Either can't see it's not your limit of view.
Oh yeah.
Objects
Oh yeah.
beyond
you
they're
can
tall
break it
enough.
Yeah, but it depends on height, atmospheric refraction,
You
stuff like
can
that.
miles away,
You're breaking up a bit, Curved, just so you know.
but you can't see the bottom.
Your,
What's that?
your connection's a bit bad, Curved.
Yeah. You're
Oh, okay.
breaking up.
Part of it's just Part of it's
Where-
just an
you-
illusion because your vanishing point's the center of your vision going out, and it's based off of your height. It's right at your eye level, and things narrow out to that line the further away that they go away. Now, when stuff gets more narrow than 1 degree of vision, it appears to disappear behind an imaginary horizon. It's like with pixels. Your eyes can only deal with stuff that's wider than 1/2 of 1 degree of vision. Otherwise, your mind can't really pick it up. And so it appears to disappear, but it's still there. It's just an illusion. And so things that narrow out to that point, like the bottoms of ships and the bottoms of these buildings, tend to disappear first because they can't describe as wide an arc. So it's just a trick. That's why when you get up higher, objects have a wider range of arc, and they can be seen longer before disappearing at that new vanishing point, which is based off of your new height. And then if you go higher, rinse and repeat. You can see more until stuff vanishes out at that new vanishing point at the new height.
Anybody believe that load of crap?
Yeah, it's not correct. Yeah, do you know what point it takes for something to disappear at that vanishing point? Do you know how far away you have to be?
I do not have the mathematics. Samuel Robotham went over the mechanism. If anybody could get some math on that, that would be great.
The answer is infinity. For it to completely disappear, you have to be infinitely far away. Even if you're a million miles away, you should still be able to see it. Maybe it'll be like an arc second, but you should still be you still should be able to see it.
I mean, potentially, but the thing is, I mean, depending on how big it is and how high off the ground you are to the object, you know, you could, like you say, potentially see forever. But things do eventually reach a vanishing point based off of their size and based off of the resolution of your eyes, the resolving power of your eyes.
Why are you ignoring that about the vanishing point? The vanishing point being due to the object becoming uniformly small. It shrinks uniformly,
But
not from the bottom up. Not from the bottom up. So why are you so disingenuous with this?
When people, when ships disappear, they disappear bottom first.
That's correct.
Supposed to be
That's
over
not
the horizon.
perspective.
And that's the mechanism that's happening. It's narrowing out to the vanishing point at your height, getting smushed down at that vanishing point line at your height, getting shorter and shorter and shorter, and the stuff that can describe a wider arc above that point is still visible. That's the mechanism.
Near base, you take the polite approach with them.
Okay.
See if you can make any headway.
The bottom of the ship is the same angular size of the top of the ship, so they should still both be above the horizon.
But the top portion describes a wider arc. The bottom portion is starting to narrow out faster. That's why
when you say a wider arc, you mean
How about when you look out your rear view mirror? What does it do?
Sorry, while you're all talking
can...
over each other, I'm going to introduce Brenda. So we've been joined by Brenda. Very pleased to have you here, Brenda.
Good morning.
Good morning to you too.
Good morning.
Morning. All right. So when you say arc length, do you mean angular size? Is that what you mean?
Pretty much, yes.
Okay. Well, the top of the ship has the same angular size as the bottom of the ship. You know that, right?
But if you take an angle out from your eyes, you can describe a wider angle going up than you can going down to your height level at the vanishing point at eye level. It will narrow out faster because it's starting to become thinner and disappear at that 1/2 of 1 degree of vanishing point.
Look out your rearview mirror. Look out your rearview mirror. You see how that mirror works?
Mm-hmm.
Keep your eyes on the road, David. Keep your eyes on the road, David.
Or with a telescope.
Keep your eyes on the road, David.
I'm not
driving. Can't afford to
driving.
lose you, brother.
No, I'm not driving.
Well, why are you looking in your rearview mirror?
No, I'm talking to him.
Oh yeah, I'm driving.
Well,
gotta stay safe out there. But,
I don't care what you do. Look at your rearview mirror. I don't care.
But it's a very interesting mechanism. I mean, it explains why you get more vision on stuff when you get up higher. It explains that. It explains why the bottom of objects disappear. I mean, it explains two things right there. What doesn't it explain?
Your explanation is false to begin with. Get him near. Don't take that off of him.
Yeah.
And one expects a vision to work in this way anyway. Like take a camera obscura. It's like a box, you look through it, and it shows you basically based off of the way the light enters through this little hole that your eye's looking through into your eyes, and the image of the other side of the peephole is upside down. It shows you that light enters your eye in rays that converge at a point on your eye. And so, based off of this mechanism, I mean, wouldn't you expect some angular something or another happening with the light rays entering your eye too? If they're entering in at rays like that too, wouldn't this explain that too? The angular, I guess, way that light works with vision.
It doesn't have to do anything with your eye, because you can see the same thing with telescopes and cameras. You know that, right?
Yeah, and when you zoom in, it lets you magnify the light. Light rays that I guess were beyond the vanishing point come back into view, right?
How does light rays behind the vanishing point? What?
Hold on, there is no vanishing point in play here.
Yeah.
Vanishing point does not obstruct the bottom of an object.
Yeah.
Vanishing point is about uniformly shrinking away as it gets farther from you. So until you're honest about perspective, you can't have a productive conversation with this clown, because he is insistent on lying to everyone about this.
Hold up. You're talking about objects that are not on a solid footing along with you on the ground. You're on the ground. Therefore, stuff is going to disappear to the vanishing point based off your height on the ground. If you're in the air, yes, that is true. It will disappear uniformly. But ships, boats, and stuff at ground level will disappear bottom first because of the way perspective works.
Or if I can be on, or if I can be on an oceanfront balcony 100 foot or more above the water, the same thing occurs. As the ship moves away, the bottom disappears first. It is blocked by, guess what? The water. You.
All I say is it might be an illusion.
No, you might be a delusion. You are a living delusion.
I'm real. Objective reality is real. And this myth is based off a theory. Supposed observable reality is so dangerous because it makes us ignore reality.
You don't have the right to use the term objective reality because there's nothing objective about what you are saying.
I could be wrong, but
Samuel
Rojas goes over it in his book, and it is fascinating.
We have been joined by Sleeping Warrior. Very pleased to have you here, Sleeping Warrior.
Good morning, Nathan. How are we?
I'm very well indeed. Thank you for being here.
Has Father Christmas been?
Yes. Season's greetings.
So Father Christmas has been. So has Eleanor been a good girl? Plenty of presents?
No comment. Yeah, she's been a good girl.
I wanted to just pick curved up on what he's just said then about the water obstruction proving curvature. Why is it that it proves curvature when it supports the assertion, but when it's atmospherically appears to be flat, it doesn't? Why is it like curved when it supports it, but you dismiss it as not curved when it doesn't?
Refraction has the effect of making it appear flatter than it is.
So how can you contrast the curvature that you accept over refraction?
What are you talking about?
Well, you said the water level is blocking the ship, therefore the ship is behind a curve.
Yes. What other explanation is there?
I have one.
Well, when the curvature appears
you don't.
Flat, you blame refraction.
No, Arwen.
Line of perspective.
Hang on. When it appears to be flat, when it appears to be flat and it appears not to support curvature, you say it's refraction. So therefore, it works the other way too. How do you know it's not refraction when it looks curved?
Here we go with the misrepresentation again. It does not appear to be flat. I said it appears to be flatter.
Okay, but when it doesn't support curvature, you blame refraction. Therefore, when it does support curvature, how can you say that it's curvature when it could be refraction?
Can I answer this?
Because, do it.
You know what it actually looks like more?
Near Base was getting ready to say something, Arwen. Why'd you have to interrupt him?
It looks like a corner.
It doesn't work like that on a sheet of ice.
After that.
Hold on, David, Arwen, can you just let Nearbase get his words in?
Alright, so when the main videos of the ships going over the horizon, there's not very many atmospheric mirages or effects. But for the ones that do show flat, boats not going over the horizon, there's a lot of atmospheric effects like mirages, you can see a lot of distortion, basically. So
but that didn't answer my question though.
And the thing about refraction is it's all in the same medium of air. The medium of air is uniform. It may have some water droplets.
No.
But the
Absolute
thing is,
lie.
refraction
Absolute
happens
lie.
from one thing to
Water
another. It
reflects
happens from
itself,
air to
man.
water or water to air. It doesn't happen in uniform
Ab-
air. Refraction has
abs-
nothing to do with it.
It's
Absolute
because
lie.
the water's like a mirror, man. When you get that boat out there, it's
Yay.
sitting on a mirror. It's going to look
Yay.
like it's disappearing into the mirror.
Yeah, the
No, it's
water
a
is still
mirage.
obstructing the bottom.
It's the mirror. It's the mirror effect on the bottom of the boat, man.
No, it's a mirage.
All water has all. If you ever go look in the water, you see your reflection.
But mirrors don't make things partially disappear.
Yes, they do. If you're going away on it, it would.
Okay,
they
so
don't.
can I just interrupt and say that I've not been given a satisfactory answer there. The question was, when curved says the boat goes behind the obstruction, that's curvature. When it appears to be flatter than curvature, it's expected and argued to be refraction. So how do you know it's not refraction when it appears to be curved?
Whoa, what do you mean flatter than curvature?
Well, I was just quoting your words.
No, that's not a quote. That's not even a sensible statement, Riley.
No, you're right. It's not a
Flatter than
sensible
curvature.
statement. I was quoting what you'd said.
I said it makes it appear to be flatter than it is.
That's exactly what I said.
That is not what you said. You said flatter than curvature.
All right, let me
You-
rephrase the question for you, Curved, or repeat the question for you. My question is, you asserted that when the boat drops behind the curve, what else could cause it? My question
Yes.
is, how did you contrast that to when it appears to be flat and it's argued to be refraction?
No,
How do you know it is refraction when it's flat compared to being the real world when it appears to be curved?
because we can watch the refraction occur over time.
That's
Anthony.
right. And do we get the same as, does it look like it bends things behind the curve when we watched refraction over a long period of time?
No.
There you go. So how can you contrast between the two things?
What? Wait a minute. His point is very convoluted.
No, I'm asking
Yes.
you, how do you know that it's not the effects of refraction when the boat goes over the curve?
Yeah, where's the curve at? Curve.
Where is the refraction
Where's
occurring?
the curve at?
Where is the refraction to make it disappear behind the horizon?
All right, when flat earthers say it
In the
looks
mirror.
flat, the argument is it's refraction. So we'll play that the opposite way around and say, how can you know it's not refraction when it appears like it's gone behind the curve? In other words, we're arguing it's refraction.
I mean, I have a video of a flat earther saying that Earth is flat, and there's clearly atmospheric refraction. Do you want me to show it?
Yeah, sure.
All right. Sure.
What I'm saying, Curved, is refraction can be argued both ways. How do you know which one it is?
No,
that
it's a
can't be
different
argued.
effect.
Bear with me, guys. We've been
It can
joined
be
by
argued.
Paul. Sorry,
this-
Curved. Bear with me. We've been joined by Paul. Very pleased to have you here, Paul.
You're welcome. Can you hear me?
Hello.
Yes.
Ah, you are real.
Right.
Good to know. Paused over the eject
Right.
button. Pleased to have you here, Paul.
All right. Anyway, so this was 9.4 miles away, so this should be somewhat below the curve. But if you can see this crane,
You're not
don't
sharing.
not.
How about that mirror? How about that mirror effect all the way across there? You see that big mirror effect that's going all the way across all that water?
I just made a drawing.
Right, guys.
See this
Hold on. Let Near
Hey,
Base
guys.
get to the end of his point and then challenge him.
All right. So, one moment. Sorry. Someone else can go.
You were screen sharing, by the way.
Sorry.
Now, Nathan, they pulled these pictures out last night and they were trying to make this point. Go ahead.
So, sorry. I have to go for a second. All right. I'm going to share my screen now.
And then I'd like to rebuttal when he makes his point because I've got better evidence.
It's just rebut, not rebuttal.
Yeah. So this should be
Rebuttal is
somewhat
not a
beneath the
verb.
curve,
Hold
the
on.
9.41.
He's just started. Just let him start, have a middle, and then end.
So this is 9.41 miles away. So there should be most of it should be beneath the curve, right? But it clearly is atmospheric refraction because if you see this crane, that's not the actual shape of the crane if you look down here. So, and this is saying that the Earth is flat. So, yeah, that's my point basically.
Okay, can I add to that? Did you say that supports the Earth being flat?
No, well, I mean, the video says it's
Sure.
supposed to be flat.
Okay, I'd like to add to that if I could, Nath.
Okay, yeah, sure.
You can do what you like.
All right, can you present me?
Yep.
Right, get rid of the sound. Right, this is one of the observation videos that me and Ranty did right when we first met. I think it was the first observation we did. Obviously, it's from Hoy Lake, our favourite jaunt. But we're not looking at the tower this time. We're looking at some turbines. Now, the previous video was based at 9 miles. And one was at 6, one was at 9. This is going to show you turbines that are 30 miles away, that should be virtually gone behind a curve. And you can clearly see they are exactly the same as the ones that are in the foreground. So my question would be, where's the curve? Because we can see, I mean, they're the ones that are furthest away. That's on the full zoom, and they're 30 miles away. Okay, so then we see it to the ones that are closer, because he pans to the right. These are just off the coast of Llandudno, or they're just off the coast of the town of Llandudno, which is North Wales. And then when he moves in a bit round more to the right, you will see, hopefully, the nearer ones. It's been a while since I've seen this video, so I might be... Yes, there's Llandudno. And those turbines are 30 miles away. Now, I can prove it if anybody wants to see the proof. But hopefully he's going to get around to where they're not 30 miles away. And then you can see the difference in size.
Where is this exact location? What's it called?
In Hoy Lake in Wirral. It's just in Wirral. There you go. There's the ones that are about 6 miles away. So we're seeing 6 miles, which are that big, and we're seeing 30 miles, which are that big, and they're basically the same, just smaller.
Riley, where's the base? You know how the base is bigger?
Yeah.
Bigger in diameter?
Well, it's not bigger in diameter. It's just got a ledge around it.
Riley, show the ones that are closer.
Oh, I've missed it. There you go. So the base that you're referring to is the ledge?
And it's thicker below it as well.
And it's what?
It's a larger diameter below that as well.
Sure.
Okay.
And then you can just about see the bottom of the towers, but maybe not. You'll have to interpret it yourself. But these are 30 miles away. 30.
Yeah, but if you interpret it correctly by yourself.
Well, if Ranty was here, he'd be able to show you the overlay, and I've not got the original overlay. I've not done it, but Ranty's done it. But what the point is that the tide should be up here somewhere if it was curved, and it's clearly down here. It's 30 miles. It's as far as Blackpool Tower, and that's 518 feet tall. These are about 90 feet.
Hey, Riley, I saw a very interesting photograph last night, taken from in front of the mirror ball, looking out at wind turbines from the mirror ball.
That was a good one.
30 miles, that was.
Do you have that?
Who presented it?
Do you have shots of the wind turbines from the mirror ball?
No.
I wonder why that is.
Because I don't live anywhere near
it. It's a very interesting view.
Are you kidding me? Who was it that presented it?
I'm not kidding you.
Do you know who it was that presented it?
They were photographs of wind turbines taken from in front of the mirror ball.
Let me see if Ranty's about. If we can get Ranty in, he's got stuff from Blackpool Promenade. If we can get Ranty in, he'll show you how this is like totally supporting flat Earth and not supporting any curve at all.
While you do that, we've got Arwin who's trying to present something. I don't know if you want to.
Go. I'll step out. Go on.
You're on mute, by the way, Arwin.
Yeah, thanks. I realized that this viewer that I'm using is kind of crappy, so sorry about that. But this is a very basic presentation of how the mirages after the first perspective line works. And yeah, what you're basically seeing here, I don't know if I can zoom in on this. Let's see.
It's actually not too bad, Arwin. You can see it quite clearly, or reasonably clearly. Oh no, that's better.
Yeah. Okay. This is a stick puppet. That should be the viewer looking out on the sea. And after the first perspective line, or rather before it, everything looks pretty clearly like waves. And then it's cut off. And after that point, you get this weird effect where it seems like it makes a sudden turn, a slant. And this keeps on going and going and going. And Well, the thing is, if it was a curve, then this how much it's slanted would keep on growing exponentially, but it doesn't. After this first perspective cut off, things that are really far away and pretty high, like mountains, for example, they will still be visible, and they shouldn't be, because the slant should continue on.
Wait, so do you think it's
So
caused
the
by
perspective makes it look like there's a cut off, and then after that, things that are pretty close to that first perspective line, they get miraged, and that means that things that stick out, you still see them exactly as they are, but underneath things get reflected, and this is very weird because this, well, primemost reflects the air downwards, making it look like there's no ocean there, but there is. But it looks like it's air because of the mirage effect, and this, well, this is how I would represent it. So
the water
that's
is
my little...
flat. The flat line is the surface of the water.
Yeah,
all
it's
the
a
way
straight
across,
line.
all the way across, all the way
Yes.
across. That's the surface. So the vertical line, what is that?
That's well, to emphasize the first perspective cut off. That's where you
where things
last
are
see the
horizon.
waves, and the
What is
waves
that?
are always completely cleared, cut out of
I don't
wave.
understand what the cutoff is.
That's the first
know.
perspective line. That's where your perspective limit is. After that, the mirage starts.
How did you determine that?
Sorry?
How did you determine that?
Well, by observing a lot of far distant footage and how this cutoff point seems to differ at certain
I
times.
have no idea what you're talking about.
What is the cutoff point, Arwen? You have to explain to us what this cutoff point is, how you determined what it is and where it is.
It is the first perspective limit of the observer, of the observing device.
What does that
How do you
mean?
calculate this first perspective limit?
Yeah, exactly.
Now,
It's
how
the
did you
first perspective
calculate it?
limit.
How
It's
did you
just-
calculate it?
It's the maximum, I guess, to where something can truly focus on
You
this.
don't
I don't know.
sound
It's
very
very
sure.
advanced optics, how that works, but you
It's
can
not
observe
advanced
it
optics at
very
all.
clearly.
This isn't optics at all.
I got a
You won't
question.
find this. You won't find this in any textbook on optics.
I know.
I got a
Leave
question.
it out.
Oh,
Yes,
An
because
ad
it's
hoc
nonsense.
fantasy.
No, it's not nonsense.
Ad hoc fantasy.
Yeah.
No, this is how it works. This is what you get to see.
Because
This
it
explains
must say
exactly
Arwen.
what you see, and it explains the mirage.
I got a
effect.
question.
Yes?
Is this because of perspective or atmospheric effects? I'm confused.
He doesn't know the difference.
Well, atmospheric effects are like lensing, prismatic, like how things look differently through water. It bends the angle basically in a very specific way. I know a little bit about that.
So I got a question.
But
That's
this
called
mirage
refraction.
effect is very different
Is
because
mirage is refraction the same phenomenon as perspective?
refraction. Okay, can you
Is
be
it the
a
same?
little bit-
Is refraction the same type of phenomenon as perspective?
I don't know. I'd have to hear a more
You
defined.
don't know what refraction is?
Well, I hear the terminology a lot, but I haven't been on that side of the argument a lot.
I got
Why
a
are
question.
why are you using it then, Arwen?
I just got a
I'm
question.
not using it. I didn't use the word refraction.
Arwen?
Well, that's what you're talking about.
No, I'm talking about perspective limit and mirage effect.
How does
do you
perspective
determine
cause a
perspective limit?
Sorry?
Yeah, I got a question.
Hold on. Let Tony's question be answered, please.
It all's got to do with whatever environment you're in.
Oh no, an answer, not something from you, David. Let Arwen answer the question.
But before he does, can I just let Paul actually get a word in, because he's sat patiently on the panel and tried to get a word in, it wasn't heard. So did you have something you wanted to add, Paul?
I was going to ask, how do you determine this perspective limit? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can
Yes,
hear
you're
you.
coming in quite well.
Well, how do you determine it? By observation so far? That is how I've did. There might be some kind of formula for this, but I don't know it. I would have to devise it myself or find a formula.
That's what we're after.
Yeah,
Can I just make a?
that's
Can I make
fine.
a?
I'm just trying to.
It depends on your individual vision, is what it depends on.
Can I make a neutral observation here with regard to Arwin's picture drawing? If it's acceptable that NASA give us ISS footage of the claim of curvature, and we have to trust that it's true, why can't we just trust that this is true? Can anybody disprove it?
I got pictures of the space station.
Why should we disprove something that Arwin is just putting out here as pure fantasy?
Because
Well, I'm asking,
for what he's done.
can we not just accept it? Why can't?
Why?
Can anybody?
Why not?
Fantastic standards of evidence there, Riley.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Standard of evidence.
Because basically what Arwen is saying has no mathematical basis.
Yeah. Look, I took pictures of the space
Maths
station.
isn't evidence.
Right there. What?
Maths isn't evidence.
But maths explains what we see.
Yes, I know. I know it, and I would love to have this formula. I truly do, but I don't know it. I'm still trying to figure this out. Okay.
The curvature that we see from the ISS can be explained with maths.
Yeah, with fisheye lenses, very easily.
Yeah, it can
be explained with maths.
Yeah, with maths. That's good.
Right, maths is not proof of anything.
Yeah, it is.
But it's an explanation.
Yeah, but assuming that the maths is correct in the application.
That's correct.
Right. So how do we know that the maths is correct? We can't validate it to be true.
I don't care if it is correct. It's theoretical. Maths is theoretical.
I agree.
But the general principle still holds. This is observable with camera obscuras, with the light coming in at a certain angle and flipping the image based off of its angular propagation, slanting down with some rays slanting up. It looks like geometrically on that picture that he showed, it would just be the midpoint where the lines that slant down meet in the middle with the lines that slant up from the observer all the way to the object. I mean, this science is still burgeoning. I mean, it would be hard to, I guess, come up with a mathematical figure, but geometrically, that's observed with the camera obscura, and that should be observed in real life as well. We just have to find the midpoint based off of mathematical formulas, I guess.
Thank you.
Wouldn't you see the reflection
exactly
of the boat? Wouldn't you see the reflection of the boat, though, in your diagram in real life?
Well, you don't see a reflection. You only see the upper part that's still within this angle thing. The mirage angle, and the under part is just a blurred reflection.
You don't know the mathematical formula for an angle thing? Come on, guys. Get on Arwen's bandwagon.
Sorry to not be all a math languagey, dude.
It depends on what environment you're in. If you're looking over water, you're looking over glass. So what do you want?
You should
I'd rather understand the general principle than the math, so it's close enough for me.
Yeah, I agree.
David, I have a reply to that, and that is it also works on hot roads.
Yeah, they got
in the desert. They have the same type of mirage effect, and it's even a lot closer.
That diagram would work better if you did it on a road without a ship out there and put something else out there, like a building.
Well, there are ways to figure this out, and my current theory of what causes the mirage, and it's typically observable on sea and on hot roads in the desert, and not so much on long land stretches. It's different. You don't have this type of cut-off effect. And I think the mirage is basically caused by the heat exchange of the air and the water, or the direct heat given off by a road to the air above. And this causes the mirage effect. That's what I believe.
And in support of his point there, my video on the apparent curvature would explain exactly what we saw. The bottom of the boat was cut off, and it's consistent with this.
I know.
I got a question.
Hold on.
That's what I was trying to explain.
Cut off by perspective.
He's not. I think he might be using the word perspective, but what he means is optical. Like it's what we see, so it's optical, and the things that influence what we see.
Okay, what is what we see? What we see is water. The surface of the water is obstructing the bottom of these ships.
Yeah, but is the light being bent?
It's because the water's a mirror, man.
No,
Anthony, I'm not here to dance with you, brother. I'm not here to dance.
Right, but
why
what I'm saying
is
is
the
you can't
water?
The light is straight.
Here you go. Why is the? This doesn't even have anything to do with
The
light
water's a
being
mirror.
straight,
That's why you
Anthony.
don't see the bottom of the boat, man.
Another
It's
point
into
about
the mirror.
this.
Anthony, why is the hole below the water line?
Can we
Bendy
have
light,
some
dude.
footage? Can
Bendy
we have
light.
footage of close-up
I got
Bendy light.
of this water bump, please?
Not an
Because there's
explanation.
something very specific
So-
about it that I want to share with you. Just look at it.
I got a
Because
question.
you don't see it all getting. It's still very wavy.
My
It's
God.
like cut off midway.
So
You don't
Arwen,
see the
this is
wave in
something-
between that's
Could
slightly
you
farther
see?
away.
Could you
It's cut off.
could you see a light farther than you could see something with your eyes that was
Arwen,
going away from you in the daylight at night?
Arwen's
Could you see farther at
Jesus.
night or during the day? Huh?
Arwen's using a diagram that he has imagined and is using in his evidence.
Which one do you think you could see farther? You could see a light at night or see a boat disappearing with whatever telescope you wanted.
And
The
let's not
answer
call
is
it a
fishing
theory.
rod,
Let's call it a
isn't
hypothesis because it's not a theory.
Hey,
Because
by the
fishing-
way, curved water. Just want to remind you that Leonardo da Vinci was also called a fantast and a crazy man in his time, and he imagined a lot of things.
Okay, I'll start calling you Leo then. Okay, Mr.
Oh,
Da
that's
Vinci?
You draw
perfectly
better.
fine with me.
You happy with that?
So you guys are basically saying we have this hump of water on this curved planet. So stuff in the distance should be hidden behind this hump of water that the telescope can focus on if it's going straight out and focusing, right?
I'm not.
I mean,
I'm not
so when we
telling.
look out with the telescope, we see a hump of water that we have to angle the telescope up over to see
No,
at the same
no,
height. Is that
no,
what you're
that-
saying? Because
no,
like
that's
100 miles away,
moronic.
if you want to see something with, or I don't know, not 100 miles away, what, 5 miles away, you'd have to angle
Yeah.
it up over the hump of water, right?
You can't. Oh, no, you don't
Ding,
angle
dang,
up over a
knockout.
hump of water. We got another obvious skunter here that doesn't know the difference in up and down. He doesn't know how they relate.
You
This
would
is
see
mystical
a
science. This is
reflection
mystical
in
science
your
that doesn't
Right.
match reality. I'm
There
sorry.
is no
Mystical.
Nothing mystical. Nothing up and
It is
down is not
mystical, and it
mystical.
asks you to suspend your belief in observable, rational observations. That's what.
Why
So
would- yeah,
so
that
bad
sounds
about it.
reasonable. Let's suspend our reality and belief just so it fits your guys'
It's
narrative.
okay,
Let's
Curves. You can
that.
do it on air. It'll be all right.
All right, I got a question. All right, so if there was absolutely zero atmosphere or zero atmospheric effect, could you still be able to see all of the boat?
Yes.
No, not with the way that perspective works, according to Samuel Rowbotham. It would
See,
narrow
there it is.
out to the disappearing point of vision because the bottom part gets narrower first and narrows down to that 1 second of 1 degree
Rowbotham was a
width.
con man.
That's an appeal to crank fallacy.
Yeah, he was a con man. Well known.
Why do you guys hate flat Earth so much that you represent it so poorly?
I agree.
Can you give us a reason why the bottom should narrow first?
All right, he's back.
Sorry about that. I mean, he explained some stuff pretty well.
Do you want to
All right.
repeat your
Oh my
question, Paul? Just because Ara wasn't there when you asked it.
Why would the bottom narrow first?
The bottom
Because-
now first.
Because when stuff disappears in the distance, it disappears because it's too thin. It disappears at the point when it's no wider than that
I'm
1 second
sorry,
of
but-
1 degree of vision. It thins
Stop.
I'm
out to
sorry,
that point.
but the bottom
And-
of something
Well-
doesn't have to be thinner than the top.
No, he's actually
basically-
right.
Yeah,
Oh my
take
God.
Are you telling me that the bottom of a boat is thinner than the top of a boat?
No,
That's what
but
he's saying.
that part of sight is becoming, it's like too narrow, so it becomes distorted. That's the mirage effect.
take a line from your
I'm
eyes. Look
sorry,
out.
but why should the bottom become
That's why
narrower
it's
before the
dependent
top?
on the power
Okay.
of the observer. With your eye,
So
it's even closer, and with a camera that sees very far, it's further away. And with an
Man,
even
it's a-
more powerful
it's
camera,
a
it's even
picture.
further away.
There's shadows.
So
There's
they-
all kinds of stuff in any picture you look at. There's things that are going to make it skewed from your regular vision.
but take your eyes, look out, and
A
draw
lot
an
of
imaginary
things and
line
stuff, a
from.
lot of things and stuff being thrown back and forth.
But
things
the
and
mechanism that he explains is basically you take your eyes, look straight out, and draw an imaginary line out. Okay, that's going to describe the vanishing point. When stuff is thinner than 1 second of 1 degree of vision from that point, if you draw an angle from that line straight out from your eyes and up 1 second of 1 degree of vision in all directions, when it's thinner than that, it will disappear. So from that line to the bottom up of the boat, the bottom's going to thin out first because it's too thin. The bottom part thins out first because the top part is part of a greater arc of vision going out, kind of like in a pie slice with your with the line from your eye describing the bottom of the angle
it's a
going
resolution
up.
issue.
Here's the
That
thing.
is absolute nonsense.
Is
That
he
is
lying?
nonsense. That is absolute
No, all right.
nonsense.
Am I correct? It's kind of like a resolution issue.
Is he lying or is he retarded?
The resolution for the eye should be the
Ding,
same
ding,
for the top as for the bottom.
Ding ding knockout.
So what you described
Why
is
should the resolution of the eye be different for the bottom than the top?
Because the bottom part is only describing at that portion like 1 degree of vision versus the top part, which is describing maybe 5 degrees of vision.
How have you measured this?
Draw an angle, draw any angle and open it up like a pie slice. The further part of the pie slice, the top part, has a wider angle than the bottom part for longer if you do draw an angle yourself. It'll just branch out and keep getting wider and wider and wider, and the top part will tend to be seen longer than the bottom part if you just draw it on a piece of paper.
But why is it most of these pictures you can see stuff in the background perfectly fine? They're not being skewed. It's just that one boat on that you guys are talking about. But in the background, there's mountains perfectly. You can see them perfect. They're part of the pie slice.
They're the top part of the pie slice. Yes. With
All right, pumpkin pie, everyone. Let's go eat.
I mean, basically, you're on the ground, so stuff is going to narrow out to the ground faster. Like if you were up in the air.
So I hope you are all enjoying the debate so far. Happy Christmas to you all on this festive day. If you're new to this channel, or you've not done so already, which is about 50% of the audience watching, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth debate. If you would like to support this channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside the show while it is live. And if you would like to join the debate when there's a drop in someone's network connection, as we seem to continually have a full house, simply click on the link in the info box below this video with the page you are currently watching on mute. There are, however, a couple of rules in the Hangout. Number 1, please do not swear. If you do, you will be ejected. And number 2, if you are, please don't try to rejoin the show using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcome back on the next stream. A massive thank you to all of the people who have shared this stream. Sharing the stream widens the audience, which increases the chances of getting a more diverse panel. So thanks a million to all who've shared. If you've not done so already, please share the show. And one last time, if you're new to the channel or you've not done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth debate.
It's not how light works. What you're describing is not how light works.
We're not talking about light. We're talking about vision.
I'm really sorry. I'm going to have to interrupt you guys.
Vision over here.
Sorry to interrupt. Sorry to interrupt. We've been joined by a new guest, so we've got Ranty Rant with us. Pleased to have you here, Ranty.
Yeah, hiya.
Good to have you here.
Hi, Randy.
Hello, everyone. Yeah, Anthony just asked me to come in. I mean, I've not been following this particular broadcast, so I don't know why he's asked me to join, but something about the 20-mile wind farms or something.
Yeah, he needs help.
Well, he said they were 30 miles away.
No, Landudno was 30 miles away. The wind farms were periodically 2 sets of wind farms before then. There was one at 20 miles and one at about 9.5 miles.
You're the man that had those buoy pictures also, right? Of the buoys?
No, David, keep up. That's not him.
Oh.
Now, Ranty, do you have wind farm photos from at the Mirrorball?
No, not at the Mirrorball, no. Well, they don't... Oh, are you talking about looking at Blackpool and there's the incoming tide difference at Hoy Lake?
No, I want to see somebody standing near the Mirrorball photographing the wind farm from the Mirrorball.
Okay, I've never done an observation of any wind farms from the Mirrorball.
Then why did Riley send you in here? That question is not for you. That question is for Riley.
Okay. No, my observation was from Hoy Lake, looking at Llandudno, looking at a series of different wind farms, which was able to determine which ones they were using the offshore C4 database, and was able to see individual wind farms and see that they shrunk in size, but the integrity of the wind farm, the structure of it stayed the same. So there was no apparent curvature between 9 miles and 20 miles between the two sets of wind farms.
Uh-huh.
How did you determine that structure remained the same?
Well, basically, I captured a screenshot of a wind farm, a wind turbine at 9.5 miles, and then I took a screenshot of the wind turbines at 20 miles away, and I simply overlaid the image of the 9.5 mile one, enlarged it slightly so it matched, and the entire structure on both seen. At 20 miles away, half of the turbine should have been missing, but it was clearly all evident. Sorry, hello, who's saying?
Sorry, this show goes all the way up to 11, so we have got an 11th guest, which is Anthony Riley offboarding on Skype. So this is a top show all the way to 11.
Right, Ranty, just show it on screen so that you can overlay it so that they can see it.
Hang on, yeah, give me a sec.
And with regard to the mirror ball, I know Curve said that was aimed at me, but Ranty's the better one to get that because he lives right near Blackpool. I live miles away from it, and I wouldn't be able to get that very easily. So if you want mirror ball photos from mirror ball looking out at the turbines, if you ask Ranty nicely, I'm sure he'll do it for you.
I've already seen photos from the mirror ball, and I was asking if you had any.
Yeah, and I already told you that the answer was no.
So why'd you bring Randy in?
Ranty's coming in because there was a guy showed the oil platform at 8 miles, and this is in support of the point that he was making, but it's significantly further. So when the guy made the point at 8 miles showing no curvature, this is evidence of no curvature at double the distance.
He wasn't showing evidence of no curvature.
Right, the guy that had the oil platform 10 minutes ago, I can't remember who it was, but could you just tell us whether that was evidence of curvature or evidence of flat?
That was near base.
Oh,
are you there near base?
Yeah. But that was atmospheric refraction because you could see the crane, like it was all jumbled up. So.
Oh right, so you weren't making the point of curvature or flat at 8 miles.
I mean, I was showing that people can say it's flat, but there's definitely atmospheric refraction going on.
Sure. Well, what I'm hoping Ranty will do now is show how little curvature there is. I thought it was 30, but the town is 30 miles away. I think Ranty knows more about the facts of it, but he did this in Red's Rhetorics Hangout the other day, which, Reds, if you're listening, make it public so we can watch it. But Ranty, do you want just talk them through what we're looking at here?
Yeah, I'm sharing my screen right now, and basically this is you were there at this time, and we took this video from Hoy Lake. And if I play the video out, basically this landmass in the background, all this here is Llandudno, and it's almost 30 miles away. And basically the very lower sections here and here to around about 30 meters at least that I can identify. So basically there should be about near enough 400 feet of curve, but you can see all that landmass there. But that's not what we're looking at, really.
Do you remember what the height of the land was, Ranty?
What we're going to be looking at is these wind farms. So, as you can see, the wind farms here are playing. They are 20 miles away. Now, the turbine itself, if I took a screenshot of another turbine that's 9.5 miles away, which I'll pan across a minute and show you, and I superimpose that image on in relation to these turbines here, they line up identically. Basically, everything that you see, the rotor blade, the height of the hub, is exactly the same on these ones, which are 20 miles away. As I pan across in a moment, you'll see. Let me just speed it up a little bit. You'll see the nearer ones because they're a bit clearer. And yeah, so there we go. There's the gap. There's the other wind farms that are nearer. So the structure of these, I took a screenshot of this and I overlaid it against the structure of these wind farms here, and they were absolutely identical. So it just shows that there was no curvature difference between the two.
He shows the overlay.
How do we even know how far away those are?
I can go through that again and take a. Here we go. So these are the ones at 30 miles away. Sorry, 20 miles away. So if I take a screenshot of this, and then I'll just put it. So this is where we were at Hoy Lake down here.
Yes, this
and
is
I
it.
was looking over at Landudno,
Hey,
which
David.
is here.
Sorry, Ranty. Sorry to interrupt. David, be ready with that sound effect. That ding ding. Be ready with that.
Okay, so these are the Reese flats here. These are the wind farms that I've just taken a screenshot of here, and there was the gap until we came across to these North Hoy ones here. So I'm just gonna.
Ranty, you need to show them where Hoy Lake is as well, so they can see your angle.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And
hang on, just let me bear with for this first, and then I'll just speed this up to the newer wind farms that are a bit nearer.
Hey, Randy, you have images that show turbines kind of like in a line away from you, where they go progressively lower as they become farther away from you. Do you know?
Yeah, that's a separate video, and they were pretty close together, I believe. It was the same wind farm. I'm not sure whether there were different wind turbines or what the issue was. I don't. This video was taken back in April. And to be fair, I deleted all my videos from that time onwards. And this was literally one that I had just left. So I hadn't even really paid any attention to this. So asking me to go over this information, it's difficult to remember for a start. I mean, I can go back and redo it. That's not an issue. I know what you're asking. Let me just put this in for now, though. So this is the nearer wind farms. So if I take basically... I'm going to crop one of these out here, so I'm just going to crop that out there, right?
Yeah, whatever.
So that's well, you can say whatever. I mean, this is the wind farm that's 9.5 miles away.
I did.
Right?
So you say?
Well, I can show you on the off-screen database here. Here we have Hoy Lake, which is down here where we were stood here. Actually, I've got the image open actually, so I'll just put it on this. There's the ruler. Hoy Lake. There's Llandudno, which is almost 30 miles away. If you look down the bottom, I've got 0 all the way up to 30. So I've actually put the ruler in at the exact length. So looking at Hoy Lake to this wind farm, we're looking around about 9.5 to 10 miles away. And the Reese flats here are 19 to 20 miles away. Okay, I just thought I'd show you that anyway, but whatever. Like you said, whatever.
Whatever.
Exactly. Right, I'm going to copy that.
Come on, Curve, be respectful. He's showing something good.
And then I'm going to paste this same image on here. So I'm just going to shrink it down so it's roughly the same sort of height. So there we go. And we're going to be basically looking at the difference, you know, or any kind of difference. If I put the hub height at the same there, and we're looking at the turbine height on here, obviously it's. Can you see how they are identical?
No.
No, you wouldn't be able to. That's fine.
I don't like your blades. I don't like your blades for one.
That's fine.
And the turbines
you don't have to agree. I mean, this is.
You didn't resize it proportionally. You just
exactly because
I
had. You're right. Exactly. I had done this on Reds because I had a little more time, and I'm not too sure how it works with how much time you actually get to speak in Nathan's. So I'm kind of rushing this. If you want, I can do it to scale. That's not an issue.
You're dancing around with a petty little issue here when you guys have images that
okay, well, I'll tell you what then.
That distant turbines in the same farm are going down below the water line.
Well, I'll tell you
what. That's what he's proving is not the case.
Who knows what the current world record of distant landscape photography is?
Man, how many times do you have to ask this?
Hang on a minute, David. Let him finish his point.
275 miles. And this
450.
Okay, before we get... Hold on. Before we get into a wrangle-dangle about the furthest photograph, just let Ranty get to the end of his presentation. You're being very patient with him so far, and I'm very grateful to you. But he's nearly there.
Oh, yeah.
10 feet. My elevation was at 10 feet. I'd done all this on Reds' hangout, so if you want, I can show you that too. But all this should be hidden. This landmass here should be hidden. Part of this landmass should just be visible, the very tops of it. But all this should be missing.
How did you determine that?
I did it all on Reds. You know, you're not talking to someone that doesn't do the research. Basically, 30 miles this is where I took the image from. This is Google Earth. Okay, so this is where we were. It's on the video as well because I actually show it on the video. Elevation here, if you look down at the very bottom right, it says 4 meters elevation, 4 meters. But at the time that this video was taken, it was at 0.9 meters, the tide. So when you deduct that from the 4 meters, it leaves about 10 feet. The distance, roughly 29 miles between where I took this image here, bypassing the wind farms, the wind farm here, the wind farm there, all the way over to Llandudno and this land over here. So the elevation is 10 feet. If you look
What's
at this,
the elevation of the actual mountain that you guys were just showing on the other side, where you saw those mountain ranges?
I've got that information. Which mountain? There's 3.
If we look here,
sorry, he's got it on screen. Sorry.
Yeah, so if I scroll across here and I'm looking at this mountain here, this is this range that we're looking at. The next one, we're looking at 30 meters, 26 meters, 30 meters, 40 meters, 50 meters. It goes up to 80, 90. 95, 110 meters. All this should be hidden behind the curve because it should be nearly 400 feet.
How did you determine that it should be hidden?
Okay, well, if I go to, let's see.
Sorry, what's 400 feet in meters? Sorry to be pedantic.
Hang on, I don't want to display
this thing to feet.
The hangout thing, so I'm not going to do that, hopefully.
Ranty, you need to convert the units on your Google Maps to feet.
Yes, yeah, I know, it's fine. Curvature calculator. If I go for distance in miles, which is, let's say, 29 miles, just for instance, the view height was 10 feet. Okay, so refracted hidden should be 352 feet, or basically 105 meters, basically. Hidden, if you don't use refraction, standard refraction, 421 feet. So that's like 125, 130 meters.
Yeah, 121 meters.
So yeah, so all this should be missing. You know, I mean, you shouldn't be seeing. You shouldn't be seeing it. The fact that I'm seeing it on this.
How did you determine that again? What was it? How did you decide that?
I'm sorry. I think I kind of just did it.
No, I didn't catch that.
Okay. Would you like me to talk slower, or would you like me to talk, dumb it down a bit?
Like flash, getting constant interruptions.
Ding ding, knockout.
Nathan, can you mute Tony? He's away from his microphone. If I mute him, you'll get mad at me.
Somebody's cleaning out their garage or something.
Thanks.
Or falling down a flight of steps or something.
I'm gonna boot Tony. I'm really sorry he can't hear, but he's not adding to the conversation, and I want someone else on the panel. So if he takes it to heart, I'm really sorry, Tony.
So basically, this is the land mass that I am looking at from line of sight. Okay, I've actually got a screenshot of this. It's something better to look at, actually. If I go to this image here, it's got Google Earth and the image that I actually took. Where is it? This one here. So yeah, so if I scroll in here, this is the land mass that I took, the lower part, a screenshot of the video that I've just been showing you. And this is the land mass that you should see on Google Earth.
That pretty closely resembles each other, don't they?
It does. So I kind of believe that this is actually accurate in what I'm actually seeing from the video. So when you look at this land mass, when you look at the top of this land mass here that is down to about 100 meters, and it should be 110 feet behind the curve.
How did you decide that?
On Google Earth, if you go to the Google Earth, I'll scroll back out again here and show you. And I come over here.
Google Earth is correct.
Do you see those Google Earth cars riding around over there?
Well, you see this here, this little hump here.
You ever seen those Google Earth cars riding around over there?
I haven't, no.
Okay.
It's worth observing at this point that Google takes into account the curvature of the Earth. So if you do it from the viewer's perspective at Hoy Lake Ranty, you can see that the land is not visible.
Okay. Well, yeah, I mean,
he showed the contour of the land when he was zoomed in because
I'm just using this. I'm basing it on a flat Earth, not on a curvatured Earth. The simple fact is that even if we use the flat or the ball Earth model, this shouldn't be. You shouldn't see this.
You haven't described how you decided that Google Earth is wrong.
Right, Ranty,
I'm going to make a quick introduction. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Ranty. I'm just going to make a quick introduction to Epistemology for Truth. How are you doing? If you can hear me.
Hey guys.
Good to have you
I
here.
hear you, Nathan.
Sorry to interrupt, Ranty.
No, it's fine. I mean, I'm not saying that Google Earth is wrong. What I'm saying is that...
Ranty,
No.
show it
I'm
from
saying
the
Google
observer
Earth.
point.
Well,
Google Earth shows me if I go down here and look at Llandudno from this location here. So I've zoomed in halfway, and then I come in. It matches up to what I actually see when I'm looking at it from 30 miles away.
Yeah, but Ranty, would you do it from the observer point and show that you can't see the land?
But you shouldn't see this. All I'm saying is that Google Earth shows the terrain is correct. It shows the terrain is correct.
Earth,
but it should be hidden.
the Google Earth viewpoint matches your camera view, right?
Yes.
And so you're saying that the Google Earth view and your camera view conflict with your curvature measurement about what should be viewable.
Yeah, I mean, what I'm saying is that Google Earth is good to show you the terrain and how the terrain should look when you get to a certain point. The fact is that you have to get halfway to see that certain point on Google Earth.
You said that Google Earth, the viewport from the Google Earth, which is a computer simulation, matches what you see through your camera lens. They match
only at
together,
15 miles.
But then you also added you also added that when you went to the curvature calculator, that you should not be able to see those land masses.
Okay. Well, if I go down to the place where I actually took the video from, and I do the same thing from there, you'll see that you do not see that hump that you're talking about. You don't see it matching up like I've just showed you. It's about as close as I can get 22 meters, because basically it just screws you over. It won't allow you to do it. If I was to get down to, I wonder if I can get down to ground level. Actually,
yeah, because obviously observer height makes a massive difference. Apparently,
yeah.
Yeah, it does. It would, wouldn't it?
And so basically, we're seeing the very top of that hill, which is what I've said. But you only get to see this image that I showed you here, wherever it is. Where's it gone now? Here, this image. You only get to see this when you're halfway, which gives you the terrain matching up. The terrain matches up, but
they seem to match up. So I don't see the problem. I don't see the problem.
I don't seem to be listening, Brenda. Brenda, what he's saying is on Google Earth, he's going halfway across to get the same view. So from the same vantage point with the camera, you don't get the same view.
Ballers can't scale.
I
ding
don't see
ding.
him demonstrating that. I mean, I don't know that he's placing the camera correctly in the Google Earth view.
He's just done it in front of your eyes.
He said he wasn't able to place it correctly.
He's literally just done it in front of your eyes, Brenda.
Well, you can't get down to 3 feet if that's what you mean.
Well, I'm at 9 meters now, and I can just see the very. I mean, you can see the line of sight. You can see the red line for the line of sight.
Yeah,
but you cannot see.
Like it matches. It looks like it matches your camera viewpoint to me.
If you just listen to what I'm going to say, the line of sight here, you don't see a hump where the red part touches the horizon. You don't see a hump.
I see a hump.
You see a hump to the left of it. You see a hump to the left of it, but you don't see a hump in the middle, right? And that's because that's behind the curve. But when I exit ground level.
Brenda, let him explain.
When I exit ground level and come across, you'll see that I actually capture this on the video. This area here that you didn't see before because the red line disappeared beyond the horizon. This at 140 feet, 140 meters here, should be beyond the curve because this is the red line and you don't see it from my vantage point.
But I do see it.
You see it on my video, of course you do, because it's flat. Yeah. It's not a curve.
You didn't show it in the previously.
Well, you've just seen it now, haven't you?
So you're saying it should be pointing out into space, basically. It should not be touching land.
No.
Basically,
you see,
fully straight out.
You see where the land. You see where the land falls off here. You see where the land falls off, and that kind of matches in the video here. Can you see where it's falling off to the right hand side?
Yes, I see that.
So if I come across here and I go to this location here, this part here, right? And this is at 65 meters in elevation here, right? That would mean 200 feet in curvature calculations, right? But it should be almost double that behind the curve.
Would it?
Yes, it would.
Have you shown that it should be?
I just did it about half an hour ago, however long ago. Metabunk, here we go. Boom. 352 feet behind the curve from 10 feet at 29 miles.
Yep.
Is that how far away it is?
Go on,
Well,
David.
Would you like me to show you that too? Okay, just bear with me. So if you go the, which one did I put it under? Oh, sorry, I'll just do a new one. Here we go. Measure the distance from there.
David, this is where you put your sound effect in.
This is where I put it from there to there. What's that? 28.65 miles.
Approximately 29 miles, yes. So,
Approximately 29 miles. So, you know, I think that's kind of definitive.
about
Ding
what?
ding knockout.
Yeah.
Google Earth knows Earth's flat, huh?
All I'm saying is that we shouldn't have seen that, and we did. We shouldn't have seen any of that.
How did you determine you shouldn't have seen it?
What do you think I've
It
just
should
showed
be
you?
pointing out into space. Because of the curve, it should be pointing out into space. If it's a straight line, straight forward on a tangent on the quote-unquote ball Earth. It's not, so it's probably flat.
Well, I've also showed you. Let's see, where's that gone now? Here we go. The wind farm comparisons, where they are the same. The structures are the same. They might be slightly different in size, but when you enlarge them and you put them next to the next one, they're exactly the same.
Is there any chance
20
you can
miles
do the
away, 9.5 miles away,
20.
20 miles away, 9.5 miles away. There's no difference.
Sorry to interrupt, Ranty. You said that you were under a bit of time pressure earlier, but I seem to remember it's either curved or epistemology or both here that presented a tower over a lake and had it flashing up and flashing back and forth. But you were doing a similar thing with these wind tide bands, which I just thought was a nice like for like, if you know what I mean.
Do you have a picture of the wind tower where you can see it all the way to the base of what these wind towers look like? Or do you know the name of this wind tower farm?
Yeah, I mean, you can check out the wind farm database. If you go to Global Offshore Wind Farm database here, it shows you all the wind farms in the world. So you can go anywhere and you can see where these wind farms are. So here we have Hoy Lake, nicely made out for us here, and this was the location exactly here where we started the filming from. So if you put a direct line in, obviously you've got the small gap here between these wind farms and then the real flats here, and then there's also a gap before you actually come to Llandudno. So we know that we're looking at the Reese Flats, and then we're looking at the North Hoy. And also, I'd like to show you something, one last thing actually, and then I'm not gonna present much more after that. But when we get to the part of the wind farms where they look quite large, because we're looking at the nearer wind farms, you'll also see some wind farms in the background. Let me find a spot. So there's the nearest wind farm there. Oh, there we go. There's the wind farm in the background, and it looks like it. You would say that looks like it's gone over the curve, but when you enlarge that, it matches up in structure exactly to this one. And what you realise is that this particular turbine here is on this wind farm here, which is the further 10 miles away beyond this one, because you're looking at this wind farm here.
Go back to that picture for a second.
And then you go on to that one. Yeah, sure. The height of this hub from top to bottom is 80 meters. So
the most noticeable feature on these wind farms here is the platform. I guess it's like a service platform that you can see.
This part here,
right there. Yep, exactly.
Yeah. And you can see
That's what he's saying. They line out perfectly.
It's closer and closer to the horizon. With the one in the very distance, it's almost touching the horizon.
Okay, so what you're trying to say, right? Well, you see this hub here is 80 meters from top to bottom. The distance from this one here is 80 meters, but the distance to this actual turbine here is 21 miles away, which means that 42 meters of this hub should be, 42 meters should be missing. Okay, so
I think you're wrong.
Knockout.
Yeah,
okay,
I don't know.
But they're the same size when he
actually accurate.
Wrong.
So if you look at my cursor now, where my cursor.
Wait a minute. Are you saying that this wind farm on this windmill on the right, this wind turbine on the right?
Yeah.
You're saying that it's twice as far away as the one next to it?
Yes.
Yep.
It's this one here.
Ding
This wind farm.
Ding is right.
Not.
Sorry.
It should be then it should be half the angular size, which it's clearly not.
Exactly.
Half the angular
Wait a
size.
minute.
Well, you're looking at through a zoom, correct?
It should be double
No,
behind the
it
curve.
doesn't matter because these are both within the same. These are both within the same shot. So if that other wind farm is twice as far away as the one in front of it, as the one that's the darkest one, it should be half the angular size. Just like a car that's twice as far away.
Well, when I say, let me show you.
If I take two pictures of identical cars and one car is twice as far away as the other, that other car will be half the size. In the picture.
But that's why he shrunk the image, because when he shrunk it, it was still proportional to the other tower. If it was far away and really smaller, like
my contention is that it's clearly not twice as far away.
Sizes.
Okay, so I've just put in the ruler over here. Okay, so the ruler from Hoylake to the first wind farm is 10 miles. Can you see the 10 mark there? So we're looking at 10 miles. The distance to the so this is 18.5 miles to this one. So we're looking at slightly under. I mean, 20 miles would be here.
But my contention is that those wind farms that you're looking at in that shot are all within that first wind farm. There's no way that other wind farm is twice as far away, because then the angular size of the blades would be half the size of the others, and it's clearly not.
It's not. I've just showed you. I've just showed you here right now with the ruler that it's not.
Wait a minute.
Just a minute.
If I photograph a car that's 30 feet away or 30 meters away, and then the same exact model car 60 meters away in the same shot, will that second car be half the size of the first car?
Yes.
Within the first perspective
will be half the size, because that's how perspective works.
No, that's within the perspective limit. Within the this is way beyond it.
That's your made up.
The apparent diameter of the car, the apparent size of the car in the shot. I mean, you can do this experiment on your desk.
There's one alternative epistemology.
But
There's
guys,
one. No, if
guys,
you're
the other-
correct, can I please explain? If you're correct, then it would have to be one of the other windmills that would be very close by. And how would you then explain a comparatively giant size difference at such an extreme range? Sudden curvature out of nowhere. That would make no sense.
I'd like to add something as well. Sorry to interrupt you, Owen, but I'm going to add this just because I'm the host and I can turn you all down. So basically, regardless of whether or not you can hear me talking in the Hangout, everyone else can hear me. So, to my eyes, it does look about half the size. If Ranty's prepared to bring up the picture of the turbine again, the centre of the turbine looks about halfway down.
But also, Ranty needs to apply the skunk bait
compare the size of the blades. Compare the size of the blades, because we know those are the same size.
If you listen to what I'm going to say here, if I can get a word in, this is 10 miles to the first one. Yeah, can you see the 10? But to the second one, it's 18. I've put the lines in so that you can see. Right, so
right, but that patch is a
minute, just so it's not actually quite. It's not actually quite double, so it should be.
It's a little bit less, so it should be about 80% bigger, but it's not. It's barely bigger. Those turbines are all within the same farm, and my contention is they're all within.
So let me tell you.
I don't
Nathan,
understand.
you need to play skunk bait.
Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. You need to let Ranty. Hold on. You need to let Ranty explain it. He's got the floor, as far as I'm concerned. He's presenting it. Let him.
Right. Okay. So this is the screenshot of where you say that it's not quite half, which is fine. I quite agree with that. But I would say that it's 80%.
Okay, go ahead and copy one of the blades, one of the blades, and bring it up next to the closer one.
No, I'm looking at the hump. Hang on.
Copy. Go ahead and crop. Go ahead and crop one of the blades, and then bring it up next to the other blade.
This is irrelevant.
Right. Hang on.
This is
not irrelevant, by the way.
I need to ask, why are you asserting that background turbine is in a different wind farm?
Because
there are two wind farms, right? He showed it on the map.
That question was to Randy, if you don't mind.
As you can see, I've been there and I know the location. I've also showed it you on the wind farm database.
One of those blades.
No, I'm not going to let you guys hijack Ranty's point. Hold on. I'm not going to let you hijack his point. He has shown this. Hold on. You're not going to do this to Ranty. He's done it. He's shown you. I've watched. So if you've not been paying attention, tough luck.
The turbine on the right is clearly farther away than the turbine in the middle.
Okay, so these turbines here that you're looking at,
why are we changing this? My contention is that it's not half the angular size, so it can't be. nearly twice as far.
Yeah,
So
that's
those turbines are all within the same. They're all within the same wind farm.
Yeah, but Brenda's hijacked it.
You're going down a rabbit hole that we don't need to go down.
Yeah, we do, Brenda. We do. We're looking at it, and we are all going to pay attention, whether you like it or not.
Ranty is claiming that the turbine on the right hand side is closer than the one that's darker and in the middle. Correct?
Yeah, but I thought he covered this by.
Is that correct? Isn't
Randy,
that
you're gonna have to go out there and measure them.
Well, that's what he's
a little
claiming.
boat right out there.
The
Get a
one
little
on the
boat right
right,
out there.
the dim, smaller one on the right, is closer than the darker, larger one in the middle. Is that correct or not?
Only 20% closer.
It's the other way round, Brenda, you Burke.
What?
20% closer.
The one on the right is much further away because it's smaller, not closer.
Right, okay. So the hub.
No, Ranty was saying it was closer.
No, he wasn't.
Right. So are you listening, guys? So if we go from 0 to 10, so 10 being the full 100%, this is a full 100% here. The line that intersects the turbine of the one in the distance is at 5.8. So 58%. 58% of the entire size of this one.
Yeah, because,
and when I take you back to this here, and the first wind farm that approaches at 10 miles and the second one is at 18 miles, that is absolutely consistent with the angular size difference between...
The other one is lower because it's further along the curve. I want you to compare two of the same features. So, for example...
I think you guys are trolling. I don't think you just...
No,
I think you're purposely not trying to
answer
listen
the
to
question. Okay, what is your claim? What is your claim,
No, you are
Ranty?
all
What is your claim?
hijacking his point. He's being very concise and patient with you, and you're completely hijacking his point.
I want to know where he thinks that the turbine on the right-hand side of the image is located.
He's shown us twice, Brenda. Pay attention.
No, he hasn't.
Yes,
He's
he has.
18 miles mark. 18
Can somebody show
miles
where the
mark.
curvature is?
Please remember
He's
that.
claiming that the one on the right-hand side, the one that appears smaller, is closer to the viewer than the one that appears larger, right?
Well, as you
Where's
look
the
at
curvature?
these, if you let me speak, you see these wind farms.
Which is it, Ranty? Which one is it?
If you let me speak, I will explain it to you. You see these wind farms here that my camera is actually imaging right now. This is these wind farms here, which is the global offshore. This is these ones that are the same distance away roughly as these ones. Would you agree that and they are the same distance away from Hoylake, pretty much?
Approximately, I guess.
Okay,
I don't know.
thank you. That's all I need to know. So when you look at these ones here, can you see how they're not very clear and they're, you know, you can tell that the wind farms, but they're very thin and they're at a distance. But when I come to the next wind farms, these big bastards here, sorry, excuse my language, these big ones here, they're very clear and they're very dark in colour and they're easily observable to what you're actually looking at. But this one in the background is consistent with the ones that I first showed you way back here.
So tell me where the one in the middle that's dark and large
is
located on the map. Where is it on the map? And where is the one immediately to its right that's thinner and more vague?
So you want me to individually... So hang about, wait a minute. So you want me to individually... So you want me to individually triangulate each and every single turbine?
Yes, otherwise you have no point.
No, you're being unreasonable.
Yeah.
No, I'm not.
Excellent. It's possible. It's possible that could be done.
Where they are, if you're going to claim
nitpicking, it's called nitpicking.
No, this is called science. You have to show that.
Isn't the bigger question where's the curve?
Okay, well, this is evidence. This is proof. If I am correct that this smaller one in the background is indeed the wind farm that's much further away, and it is down to 58% in size as to the one in the foreground, then that is absolutely consistent with this and this ruler measurement here from Hoylake, which intersected both. Is it not?
That is not consistent. That is not consistent.
Okay, so let's do a calculator on that as well, shall we? Hang on.
Where's the curve though, boys?
No, wait a minute.
I don't know what is your claim, Ranty? What are you trying to say?
Yeah, I mean, the curve is obvious because you can see that the platform on the pylon is getting closer and closer to the water. It's getting cut off from the bottom.
That's the curve right there.
So
There is no curve.
Why does the platform on the pylon keep getting
what's
closer and
supposed to be
closer to
there?
the water?
So does the perceived curvature that you
that's-
claim it to be, does it match
that's
up
your-
with how
that's
much
your-
curvature there
So-
should be actually?
So working it out on a calculating point, it should be 55% difference. There should be 55% difference.
That's fine.
Okay.
Still
So
have
what
answered-
we're looking at here at the ruler that I've put in, I mean, I'm going to say that that's within the margin of error. We're looking at
which
You can say that.
58%. Sorry?
That doesn't make you correct when you say that it's
It's not,
within
sorry,
the margin of
58%,
error.
that doesn't make me correct. No, but it leaves it open to it. I'm more right than you are.
It is not half the
I mean-
size, Ranty.
But he covered this by cropping the closest windmill and shrinking it down, pixelated
This isn't
to the
this
size
is
where both of their
screenshot.
blades were similar.
screenshot.
That means that they're both basically the same size, just different distances away. He already covered it by cropping it and shrinking it in the first couple minutes of the video
I
to
just
show
wanna
that
get-
they're equivalent.
I just want to get one thing clear. What is it you're claiming? You have two wind turbines here. One is larger, one is smaller. One is farther away, one
Hold
is
on,
closer.
I have a better
There's
idea.
no curvature.
I have a better idea for you. Can you redraw this picture? Get rid of the or even just change the color of the lines. Go to a different color so that you can still use the same image. Okay.
Get rid of that.
And can you do that for me? Or there you go. So put that bar at the center of the motor. Go ahead. Put the red bar at the center of the motor like you had it before at the one in the middle. Motor. Perfect. Now do the same thing for the other one.
Yep, and there we enter the mirror.
Hold on. Go ahead and do that, centered. Okay, stop. Now copy that red line and put one on the platform on the one in the middle. Perfect. And then now do the same thing for the one next to for the other one. Put it where we see the platform, right near the water. Perfect. Okay, now let's measure those two distances.
Mm-hmm. But I know what you're going to say.
Yeah, those are the same proportions now. I think we all agree. And I think that will give you an accurate scale of how much further these things are apart. Clearly, the one on the right is further away because the platform is closer to the water. So let's measure it now and let's see.
What you're asking is to measure something where you know there is clear distortion above the water.
Okay, so now you don't want to measure it.
No. You know that this happens. And this is why you absolutely.
Now you don't want to make the measurement because we don't have to do it with that point. We can do it with the blade. Do it with the top left blade on both of them. We can do it the same way with the top left blade because we know the blades are the same
between the
size.
turbine. What's wrong with doing it between the hub height, and then putting a line in at the horizon line here? What's wrong with doing it that way?
Support the resurgence. That's what's wrong with
why?
it.
Why? What's happening with
Because
this?
our contention is that the one further away is going to be more obstructed by the Earth. That's not a direct proportional measurement to determine how far away it is.
Correct. It's not proportional. That is correct.
Right. So play the skunk bridge.
Because on one of these, you have the line going from the motor to the platform, and on the other one, you have it going from the motor to way below the platform.
You're cheating, Ranty. You're cheating.
I'm not cheating.
Yes, you are.
Play skunk bridge.
How can this video be
There's
cheating?
Still the hump that you get to see thanks
You
to
just measure it
in front of
with the blade. Measure from the center of the motor to the tip of one of the blades on the same side of both.
Can I just say? Well, firstly, can we say, are you agreeing that this one in the background is most likely the one that is 18 miles away?
No, I don't agree because it doesn't have the proportional.
I knew you wouldn't agree because you don't agree with anything. It's pointless arguing with you guys. So let me just say something. I'm going to put this line in here, right? I'm going to put this line in here, and you see this turbine here, this one in the background. Where I'm putting this line in now, that is how much should be missing. So the simple fact that you can see this little nut at the bottom on here, it should be behind the curve.
Where's the rest of the turbine of the farther one?
Where's the curve?
I'm pretty certain that Ranty's last statement will cause a bit of contention, so I'm going to use the opportunity to do a quick link. Hope you're all enjoying the debate so far. Merry, happy Christmas and a wonderful New Year to all of you who are watching this on Christmas Day. If you are new to this channel or you have not done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth debate. If you would like to support this channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside the show while it is live. And if you would like to join the panel when someone drops, as there is currently a full... Oh no, there's one gap, so if someone wants to join now, simply click on the link in the info box below this video, but be sure to mute your watch page before you do so. There are a couple of rules in the Hangout. Number 1, please do not swear. If you do, you will be ejected. And number 2, if you are ejected, please do not try to rejoin using sock accounts, as you'll be warmly welcome back on the next stream. If you've not done so already, please share the show on social media, and one last time, if you've not subscribed, be sure to hit that subscribe button and the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth debate.
Might be that one.
To me, that's how perspective works.
Okay, can you see my tripod here?
Yeah.
Right, how high would you say that is? If I'm moving it right to the water's edge there, what would you say? 3 feet?
3, 4 feet. Yeah.
About 3 feet? Okay, so now if I said to you, I'm going to video a boat that's like 9.5 miles away, it should be behind the curve, correct?
All right, now, how do we know that you stayed at that point when you videoed?
Because I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to stop. I'm going to play the video in its entirety if you so wish. I can fast forward it a bit, but you'll see that I don't actually move it.
Yeah, with you, I got to check.
With me? Why? When have I ever presented anything?
Because you're a liar.
Right, okay, fine.
We just saw you cheating with the
We
proportions.
just saw you cheat just in the previous one with
Cheating
the
No,
winter.
not cheating and not lying, Brenda. No, don't be such a sore loser. Randy's made a fantastic presentation. Perfect logic. Everything. Thank you, Randy. It was a great presentation.
Yeah, except for when he claimed that one windmill was twice as far away, and then when I had to measure the angular size, he just poo-pooed it and wouldn't even do the measurement. That shows how honest he is.
Because this is why. This is what I'm
even finish the measurement. How honest is this guy?
Because this is what I'm going to show you now about the what happens just above the water. This is the point that I'm going to make now. This is why I've asked you to look at this video. And as you'll see, I'm looking at this boat, and there's also a boat next to it. I'm just going to scroll back a tiny bit, and you'll watch it
That
to the
was
left.
hard to see.
Look at the left-hand boat. You'll see that part of it looks to be missing. The center part of it. Can you see where it's missing? And it's coming back on itself. It's the image is actually refracting back on itself above the.
There's some mirroring. There's a certain
Well, can
amount
you
of
see where
mirroring going on.
Right. Would you agree? Right. You see this boat here?
Yes, it is, Brenda.
Right. Okay. So you see this boat here? It looks all white, doesn't it? This boat looks all white in its color. Right.
Yeah.
So if I go to this image
except
here,
in the front. Except in the front.
Yeah. Okay.
Except
So
in the front.
So this is the same boat.
Please let him finish.
Yeah, you're all
Okay, so
hijacking his point again, because he's basically doing an exceptionally good job. 11 people on the panel, and he's completely holding his own. Well done, Ranty.
Thank you.
It's your opinion.
So where's the dark part of the hull in your picture?
Exactly. This is what I'm trying to get to you. This is what I'm trying to explain about what happens at the very low point just above the sea as it comes in or goes out, whichever. There's always this kind of distortion. Now, this is the same boat. This image was taken about 10 minutes after this video. Now, as the boat moved across from the left to the right, so it was heading down towards Fleetwood from the Isle of Man, it actually came into focus that this was actually blue, the whole side of it. But on the actual video that I've just showed you, it shows that it's white.
Well, it shows that the bottom part, part of the hull is missing.
Well, here we go. You see the windows here on the
They're
boat?
not on the hull. I'm talking about
by the
hull,
mirage.
not the
You
windows.
see the windows on the boat?
Yes.
Okay, they should be beyond the curve.
How have you determined that?
I know the height of the boat. I know the location. I actually went and listen. Just let me finish. You asked me a question, so I'm just going to answer it now. I believe. Hang on, let me just get the right one so that I don't present the wrong thing. This was it. This was the actual ferry data on the day. So the ferry left from the Isle of Man. It traversed the wind farms here, and it ended up in Heysham here. So I triangulated with a ruler, like I've just showed you how I did it from Hoylake down to to Wales. And basically, the distance that when it intersected these wind farms, and I was able to triangulate everything, 9.5 miles away. So the boat, when it passed here, and I was filming from here, it was 9.5 miles away, this boat, when I took this image.
I don't
this
believe
film. You don't believe me? Well, you can absolutely.
Well, where's your timestamp? Where's your timestamp? Because you're talking
timestamp. I can again. I was saying. Well, the good thing about
of only a few feet, a few minutes is going to make quite a bit of difference.
Well, that's absolutely fine. If you're talking about time, I mean, I don't know what else I can present other than the fact that
you could explain where the bottom of the hull is.
Well, firstly, I've told you.
Sorry to interrupt you, Ranty, but your screen share's got a bit of an anomaly where it says Google Hangouts is brilliant.
There we go. Okay.
So how do you explain the missing hull?
Mirage.
That's what I've told you happens. You know when you asked me about to go back to revisit this.
Explained it. Explain the hull.
Hang on, wait a minute. You asked me to revisit this image here.
No,
I'm wait a minute and say and put the line on the little knobs just above where the water is. And I said to you, that isn't a clear indication of what's going on simply because of what happens.
Okay. All right. So then let's measure the blades. That's not happening to where the blades are. So let's measure the center of one blade from the motor to the edge.
Stop bombarding him with questions.
Follow through on one thing. Where is the dark part of the hull? Where is it?
It's in the vanishing point. You call it the horizon. You call it the horizon. I call it the vanishing point.
Where?
How can we see things behind the vanishing point, Renty?
Where is it? Where is the bottom of the hull?
Boats. How can we see the wind towers past the boats if there's a vanishing point? Renty?
It's blurred out of sight.
Just
where is the bottom
you can see the wind towers behind the boat, so it's
just where the water is here.
Where is the bottom of the hull, Ranty? Where is
in the vanishing point where the
what are you talking about? There's no such thing.
Right, I'm going to turn you all down as you're all talking over each other just so I can do an introduction. So I'm going to say a quick hello to Mark Taylor, who's just joined us. You need to appreciate that when I'm talking, you can't be heard, Brenda. So whether you like it or not, Mark's getting an introduction. How you doing, Mark?
Yeah, I'm great, thanks, Nathan. Nice to see you're in the Christmas spirit.
Well, this is the
Did
Christmas
you buy the
special.
hat with your super chat?
Christmas special, yeah. Hit that super chat. Good to have you here, Mark.
Ho
ho ho.
Where is the bottom of the hull?
Well, if you answer this couple of questions, I'll answer yours. So, where do clouds form?
By water evaporation from water vapor from the land and the ocean.
Would you say that there's water evaporation happening here from the ocean?
It's very likely, yes.
So what happens when the evaporation rises up and you're looking at 1 mile away?
It obstructs it.
A little bit of obstruction. What happens when you get to 9 miles away?
It introduces a haze.
It's sitting on top of a mirror, man.
So can you see this haze in the background? There's a lot of haze going on.
Right. Yes, that's water vapor in the air. Yes.
So what happens is you get this incredible haze that goes across that I will call the vanishing point.
I don't see haze.
It causes a vanishing point.
It
causes you to optically view it as a vanishing point. You call it the horizon.
Behind the vanishing point, Ranty.
No,
I call it the horizon.
If that was true, then we wouldn't see the water, but we see the water, right? And
we're seeing the water to a point.
We would expect that the water would be washed out along with the hull, right?
No, you don't see the water underneath the boat.
No,
you don't see it. You see the water way in front of it at the first perspective limit.
Why is the water line?
I think you're
true that
you got that perspective limit going on.
Okay, so you're not answering my question, which is, you see these windows, they should be behind the curve. Why are they not behind the curve?
You're changing the subject.
No, this was my question originally. My question originally, 10 minutes ago, 10 minutes ago, I asked you, I said, you see these windows, they should be beyond the curve, and then you changed it to where's the bottom of the boat gone. So I'm asking you, where's the curve?
The curve, the bottom of the boat.
Where's the curve at?
The curve should be at the windows.
Where's the curve at?
You haven't
the curve should be at the windows. Where's the curve?
Yeah, Miles Davis has done a video about this, and he's debunked Ranty. He's got the name of the boat wrong.
Yeah, Miles Davis is full of shit.
I'm talking about the
tides.
Where's the bottom of the boat?
If you want to go and watch Miles Davis,
talking about the ferry.
Where's the bottom of the boat?
Where's the 44 feet of missing curve?
Where's the bottom of the boat? Where's the bottom of the boat?
What we're talking about? This 10 feet here. It's all merged into the air.
We're talking about the dark painted hull. Where is it?
Exactly. Where is it? This is what
That's
I'm saying.
my
This is what
question
happens.
to you.
It gets blended into the horizon. Your horizon. I call it the vanishing point.
No, it doesn't.
It's the same image. It's
So
the
what?
same.
The vanishing
It's the
point
same
blocks
boat.
the boat out, so it doesn't
That
do
is the
anything
same
to
boat.
things that are behind the boat.
Here, see
How
I
does
put a
that
boat
work?
in my picture. See how that works?
Same boat.
But why?
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, very
why?
nice
I
picture.
took that boat on purpose.
So
I drew
where's
it
the
here
dark
on
part of
purpose.
the hull? Where is it? Where'd it
It's
go?
It's within
Behind
the
water
crappy
can't-
air.
outside
Sorry,
of
excuse, I swore again. Sorry, but yeah, it's in the crappy air.
No, it's not.
Of course it is.
That's what I see. Water line. I see a water line. I don't see.
No, that's
crappy
way
air.
in front of it.
Why do I see a water line where I can make out even the texture of the water?
Yeah.
Well, the water line still doesn't prove a curved horizon because you're supposed to see this curved
What I
horizon
see,
miles out.
what I
and
see
it's
is what we
straight,
expect to
but
see.
left
What
right,
should
you
we
don't see any
expect to see
curvature.
on a curve? We expect to see water cutting off part of the boat, which is exactly what we see. If it's just haze that's obscuring the bottom of the boat, it should be obscuring the water too.
Curves don't reflect things, though, do they?
sense.
It's what we're seeing is a reflection.
Going straight out
It
toward
doesn't
that
make
boat.
any sense that the haze would select to obscure the boat, but not the water.
But even more distance should be
No,
covered.
it does. It does obscure the water. What you see
But
here
even more-
is not the water underneath the boat. It's way in front of it.
So you expect us to believe that just a picture you've drawn looks like a child's drawn it, Arwen?
Yeah.
How's that any different to NASA?
So you expect us to believe that picture and ignore reality, which we see every day?
No. This is
Uh-oh.
a representation of reality.
Right. So where's the rest of the boats gone then? That one on the right's got missing boat,
It's
and the one on
gone
the left
in
is
the mirage
nearly
because of the
completely
perspective
invisible.
limit.
Now the
left-hand
blue
boat
is
is
In
showing.
front of it
completely
is
invisible.
the water that's not even close to the boat. That's
It
what you
shouldn't
get
even
to
come
see.
back to focus
No, that's
because it's
rubbish.
hidden
That's
behind a hump
rubbish,
of water.
Arwen, and you know it is.
It's not hidden behind a hump of water because there's no curve. And plus, there should be
Yeah.
more
Okay. You
distance
keep
covered
telling
left and
yourself
right.
that. You keep
It's
telling
just a
yourself
cutoff
that.
point.
But there should be even more distance covered left to right, which isn't the case. I mean, going straight, you cover a certain distance, but left to right, there should be even more distance geometrically, and still no curve is seen. We should
You
see
keep
even
telling
more
yourself
curve
that.
left
What a
to right,
load of
but we
nonsense.
don't.
Exactly.
It's still flat.
The curve doesn't just stop right there. It should go on and
In all directions.
and cover up even more,
Why is
much
it
more.
you have
But
to
it
make up?
doesn't. It's
Why is
just
it you have to
one
make
corner.
up things that we don't exist in reality that no one else has heard of, like vanishing points when you can see things clearly behind the vanishing point? How does that work?
That explains the phenomena
what is that
another
boat
way
on the
other than a
left-hand
curved
side?
Earth. It gives an alternate explanation. We need some other paradigm, so maybe we could arrive at other.
Oh, what? So you just make stuff up then?
No, we don't make stuff up.
Yeah,
We
you do.
try to find
Yeah,
other
you do.
explanations. Then you're
no one
ball.
describes what you're describing on the horizon. No one says there's a vanishing point like you're saying there is like that.
Yeah, nobody says that because we always turn things in your perspective, from your side.
So
of
you
things.
can see. So you
Everybody
can see the rest
says
of the
it's
boat.
the horizon.
The top of the boat.
horizon
The
makes
top
you
of the
think
boat
it goes
you can
over
see,
the
but
horizon.
It's so.
We need to
just
start as flat
amazingly.
earthers talking it as like the vanishing point because that's how we perceive it. Things
Well, how can you
vanish
see things beyond the vanishing point then, Ranty?
because they are above the vanishing point. The vanishing point is a layer of crappy air
So what
that
height does the
sits.
vanishing point
It's
start?
coming into your perspective is why you're seeing it like that.
So how high does the vanishing point on the water? How high is it, Ranty?
Well, that changes. I've taken.
Changes
I
depending
went
on the
across-
heat and the moisture
All right.
within
So
the air.
can you give me any link to anywhere that I can do measurements on that then, please? Can you give me a
Absolutely
link to the
not.
measurements?
It would
Because it
depend on where the
changes.
sun's
Absolutely
at
not.
too, because it's shining straight down
Absolutely
on the
not,
water.
Okay. Is that because you've just made it up?
Absolutely not.
Right. So how come we can still see the top of the boat then?
Because that
it's
is above
still
the
within
vanishing
a
point.
band
Oh, it's
that
it's
isn't
above,
all
Right,
blurred
okay.
out.
above your magic vanishing point. Oh, I get
see-
you. That's
right,
handy,
you see this
Ranty.
boat here?
It's all about optics. How much information can fit
That's
within
handy,
a
Ranty.
narrow
How
band.
come we can see hardly any of the other boat then, Ranty?
Well, you see this boat here?
The
Right.
vanishing point to the
I've
left
just-
seems to
I've
be a
just
lot
heard
higher than
Brenda-
the one on the right, Ranty. Why is that?
Right. I just heard Brenda say that the bottom red line here is where the top of the water is, right? That's what Brenda just said. She said that that's where the water was. So if we take this boat here, which is the same boat, and we superimpose this boat on that boat, we see the entirety of both boats, which shows there is no curve. Because there's
it
the
doesn't
water. You see the bottom
it
red
doesn't,
line?
Ranty.
Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't.
That's
Ranty.
only the part of the hook from there.
So we have approximately 5 minutes left on this live stream. So if anybody did want to join to do some festive trolling, now is your last opportunity to do so. I will come back one last time just to thank the audience and the panel for being here.
Yeah, if anyone's interested, Miles Stokes has done a video on this Ranty's got the name of the boat wrong. He's got the height of the
it's all wrong. It's all
He's
wrong.
got quite a lot wrong, and he's already known for posting fake videos and being a liar. You can just take his evidence with a pinch of salt.
Stop nitpicking and start listening to what he actually saying.
Nitpicking, Owen. So it's okay for him to be dishonest, then, is it? It's okay.
Hello, Miles.
Okay, I'll get you, Owen.
This is about
get me. Come and get me.
This is about giving people the tools to figure it out on their own. That's all.
All right.
They can come to their own
Miles.
conclusions, but
Hey, Miles is here. Can we give him a minute to go over this with Randy?
Yeah, let Miles explain it.
Well, hang on, just one sec. You see the top of the red, and the horizon there. Can you see? Would you agree that the top of the red and the horizon are the same on this boat? You know, where it breaks the water.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So if I put the top of the red and I put it there, is that the same?
What about the boat on the left?
What point are you trying to make? Let's talk about the boat on the left, Ranty.
What boat on the left?
Yeah. What about the boat on the left, Ranty?
Yeah.
No, I'm just asking. You see where the top of the boat is, the red part.
Ranty.
Listen, just let me finish.
Let's talk about the boat on the left.
Not interested in that boat, Ranty. We're interested in the boat on the left.
What are you
of course, because you
prove here? These are two different shots.
I'm doing a
so
presentation.
they're the same
here.
boat. Okay.
I'm trying to show to you that where this thing that I've just put in now, this ruler, I've had to scale it down to so small that basically you can just look at the actual part that it's blocking out. But you can see that where it breaches the water, the boat, and where it touches the top of the red, this is the same. And when I put it over here, and you can see...
You cannot do this because these are two different
zooms. Not interested in that boat, Ranty. That boat's on the horizon, not beyond
it. Scaled to size.
The two different images, it doesn't matter.
Not interested in that boat, Ranty. That boat is on the horizon, not beyond it.
Where's the 44 feet of curve?
What about the boat on the left?
Where's the 44 feet of curve?
Let's see if it
Ranty,
is size. Measure from the first window to the last window and compare the two.
Where's
Ranty,
the 44
talk about
feet
the boat
of
on
curve?
the left, like Miles wants to.
Right. Okay.
Right.
Okay. So sorry.
Ranty, will you address me?
Right. Go on then.
Ranty, you published this video and you obtained evidence, or you said you'd found out which two boats these were. This is the ferry on the right, and the boat on the left you said was the Bibby Wavemaster 1.
That was my original.
Like me to show you, I would like to show everybody a picture.
But it isn't the Bibby. No. Wait a minute.
Bibby Wavemaster 1.
Which it isn't.
It is.
No, it is not. It's a trawler boat. It's actually a crab boat.
No, it's not, Ranty.
Yes, it is.
You're lying.
That's why I removed it from the. No. Wait a minute. When I first
finished a sentence, don't let him try to take it back from you. You did a good job, man.
Yeah, I'm not. Listen, when I first released this video, I'd put it in there. I thought I'd identified both boats.
You are lying.
I'll you out again.
When I went back and
you are lying,
Ranty. Within an hour of putting the image up,
you are lying, Ranty.
Miles, you can say what you like. You are the biggest liar that I've ever come across.
Yeah, just let Miles present his evidence. You've been ranting
okay,
for the last 20 minutes.
So let me. All right, I'll stop.
So
Randy knocked all out about 15 minutes ago.
Evidence to show you're a liar.
Good job, Randy.
Let's see this. Let's see it.
Well, unfortunately, you've run out of time to do so.
Oh, what is it?
Unfortunately for you guys, it's going to be the 12 Shills of Christmas to play out the Christmas special show. And I'm going to say, first and foremost, a huge thank you to all of you guys who have joined us on this panel. And especially big thanks to Ranty, who I think did exceptionally well on a show that had 10 plus people on it at times. So huge kudos to you, Ranty. And with that, I'm going to play you out with the 12 Shills of Christmas.
For the first shill of Christmas my YouTube gave to me a marked sergeant in a pear tree. For the second shill of Christmas my YouTube gave to me two Patricia Steers and a marked sergeant in a pear tree. For the third shield of Christmas my YouTube gave to me. 3 Geronisms, 2 Patricia Steers, and a Mark Sergeant in a pear tree. For the fourth shield of Christmas my YouTube gave to me. 4 Rob Skeebers, 3 Geronisms, 2 Patricia Steers, and a Mark Sergeant in a pear tree. For the fifth shield of Christmas my YouTube gave to me. 5 Super Rats, 4 Rob Skeebers, 3 Geronisms, 2 Patricia Steers, and a Mark Sergeant in the pear tree. For the sixth shield of Christmas my YouTube gave to me. 6 David Weiss's, 5 Super Rats, 4 Rob Skeebers, 3 Geronisms, 2 Patricia Steers, and a Mark Sergeant in the pear tree. For the seventh shield of Christmas my YouTube gave to me. 7 IPS, 6 David Weiss's, 5 Super Rats, 4 Rob Skeebers, 3 Geronisms, 2 Patricia Steers, and a Mark Sergeant in a pear tree. For the eighth shield of Christmas my YouTube gave to me. 8 Flight of Asshole, 7 IPS, 6 David Weiss, 5 Super Rats, 4 Rob Skeebers, 3 Geronisms, 2 Patricia Steers, and a Mark Sergeant in a pear tree. For the ninth shield of Christmas my YouTube gave to me. 9 Nathan Oakley's, 8 Flight of Asshole, 7 IPS's, 6 David Weiss's, 5 Super Rats, 4 Rob Skeebers, 3 Geronisms, 2 Patricia Steers, and a Mark Sergeant in a pear tree. For the 10th shield of Christmas my YouTube gave to me. 10 Cal McDonald's, 9 Nathan Oakley's, 8 Flight of Asshole, 7 IPS's, 6 David Weiss's, 5 Super Rats, 4 Rob Skeebers, 3 Geronisms, 2 Patricia Steers, and a Mark Sergeant in a pear tree. For the 11th shield of Christmas my YouTube gave to me. 11 Jeffrey Grubbs, 10 Cal McDonald's, 9 Nathan Oakley's, 8 Flight of Assholes, 7 IPS's, 6 David Weiss's, 5 Super Rats, 4 Rob Skeebers, 3 Geronisms, 2 Patricia Steers, and a Mark Sergeant in a pear tree. For the 12th shield of Christmas my YouTube gave to me. Flight of Paradise, 11 Jeffrey Grubbs, 10 Cal McDonald's, 9 Nathan Oakley's, 8 Flight of Assholes, 7 IPS's, 6 David Weiss's, 5 Super Rats, 4 Rob Skeebers, 3 Geronisms, 2 Patricia Steers, and a Mark Sergeant in the pear tree.
Once again, a massive, huge, enormous thank you to all of the live audience for joining us on this debate. And again, a massive thank you to all of the panel for making this debate possible. A happy Christmas and a merry new year to one and all. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I will see you all in the next video.